I'm Chosen Architect, and this is all the mods tin to the sky. Now today is episode 10 here in all the mods tin to the sky, and that means it is World Download Day. So if you're a supporter of any tier, you'll be able to get access over on the Discord to this beautiful world that you can explore for yourself, play around in, discover new things, and, well, hopefully enjoy. Oh, back to reality, I've got some things that I really need to get done, of course, before this world is going to be shared, and that means finishing up some building things. It's not going to be perfect, of course, because we still have a long ways to go, but what I do want to do is at least get this section towered out, and then get all of those components that I really want in here. I think that's going to look really, really nice. So that means continuing this up, and then also getting the other section that is going to be out of the front set up. This is all going to require some Lumi blocks, which are going to be very, very bright, but it's also going to require a ton of terracotta. As you can tell, these are going to, consist of a lot of terracotta here. Now today's not going to all be about building. No, last episode we dove into Auratech and we got ourselves some Manhattan modules. These are massive explodey bits. Yes, we can use this to blow up all kinds of stuff. And what is best to blow up? Well, the end, because today I want to try and get myself Unobtainium. And as of right now, in this version of the pack, Unobtainium can be found in the End Highlands. And so that is where I am going to go. That is basically where it has been found in just about every version of the All the Mods pack. And so End Highlands is where we're going to do some explosies. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm going with there. But like I said, before I do that, I need a ton of terracotta. Time to crank this bad boy up. That should be plenty, right? And let this thing do all of its crafts. No boy, that's happening really fast. I did, by the way, upgrade all of these, and I have all of them now with acceleration cards, but it does get way faster, and we are going to want this to be way faster eventually, right? Look at that, doing its thing over here. Yes, we want to get quantum crafting before long. Ooh, and that also reminds me, once we get access to Unobtainium, we can make ourselves an infinite lava card. So we are going to need to get some blazing crystals produced. That shouldn't take that much, I wouldn't think. So yeah, an infinity lava cell here, a 3x compressed block of these, which is like 729 of the blazing crystal blocks. And then we need a rather large mega storage component. That is going to also be kind of a challenge. And then we need Unobtainium. But I'll tell you what, this infinite lava cell is going to be very handy. Very, very handy. And hey, look, the terracotta's done. Oh boy, by the way, just to put this in perspective, just to fill this whole outer side, this one fin, yeah, that used up just about all the 2,000 terracotta. So you know what? How about 8,000 terracotta? Yeah, before long I am going to need to upgrade how many bytes each of my my CPUs can handle. Now, just some things I want to mention, some tips and tricks for building large things like this. I mean, I'm using, for example, a netherite stick and kind of mixing and matching the building gadget to get the base frame up, and then I'm using these sticks to be able to cover really, really large areas. That is a thing that the building gadget kind of struggles with. And you just got to make sure you have the blocks, though, unfortunately, all in your inventory or possibly your backpack. That also might work. But this allows me to build and cover this massive area, even though this is the second one now I've broke. Now back to finishing out the front section here. And this is kind of how I'm going to be lining this out. We are going to have this in between, and there is exactly 3 spaces right here, I do believe. So we have this and this in between this section right here. And this is going to be the white Luminex blocks. Like I said, I was going to be using those. And then I also need the gray blocks as well. Gray Luminex blocks. These are going to be really bright sections of the build. Or I could try and continue using terracotta. I don't know. I mean, this will be the difference right here. So we have either this or we have this. You know, I kind of like the shadowless textures. Ooh, but you know what? I could get even fancier here, and we use orange Luminex blocks to kind of carry that orange theme up through the top section. Oh yeah, orange is probably going to be the way to go. Now, I am going to go ahead and start extending this all the way up, just filling it with full white. And then what I'll do is once I get up here in this section, after we get it done, then I'll just use the exchanging gadget to just swap out those center bands with the orange. Now also on the backside, definitely going to make sure to get this all placed in as well. And I'm leaving about a 2-block gap here. Okay, so for the reveal, this is starting to look really nice. I also hit world cap. I wanted this to actually go a bit taller up there, the little red lights, but unfortunately I am at the limit of the world. But I've started to trim this off a little bit. I am using some Simply lights here, some illuminated rods. Those are looking really good just on the edge here. I think this gives it just another little boost. Now on the back, I have decided to place in some support beams. So these beams run across the back. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna also add these illuminate rods running up the back. Oh, this is starting to look really good. Man, oh man, this looks so good now. I mean, there's still more to do, but I think this has turned out way better than I originally planned. And I hope this up here is going to be enough room for bees. I really want my bees to be handled up here whenever we do get into the bee mod. So yes, this might be enough space. If not, we can always have like something that teleports us into like a pocket dimension that feels still like we're in an area like this, but like takes us to a much larger space. I think that could be kind of cool as well. But I don't know, let me know down in the comments, what do you think of this tower? I mean, this is huge. We have built to literal build limit, which is kind of cool too, because it does grant us a way to use like some AE stuff up there. But I mean, in the back too, I've got all of this nice bright orange. We're keeping the theme. If I teleport over here, we have the modules that go up into the center, giving this a nice look too. I mean, there's a lot of space here that probably needs to be fixed. And I also want to round out these corner bits. But outside of that, I mean, this is flowing pretty good. And when I say round out, I actually want this to look like this on the outside. But I've got to go through and do the whole thing that way. So now that this is out of the way, I mean, what I could potentially do now is start to figure out how we're going to obtain the unobtainable. That's right, Unobtainium. Now, I've already gone to the end. We've already taken out the dragon and all that fun stuff. So now we just need to go to the end islands and potentially find Unobtainium. But it can be kind of hard to find Unobtainium. You do have to do a lot of digging, all that fun stuff. But that's, like I said, where the Manhattan module comes into play. Now, I do want to make sure I'm prepared enough for this, as I don't want the explosion to just up and kill me there. So what I could potentially do is go ahead and get my gear enchanted, just to make sure we have at least some basic protection on us. For most of the gear, we're essentially putting max protection, which as of right now, I mean, like we're maxed out at protection 8, and we can also put another protection ore on here because of apotheosis. So projectile protection seems like a pretty good one for me. I'm kind of thinking like, I don't know, to prevent arrow damage from anything that might shoot me, especially any of the apothic bosses that might spawn. So this might help a little bit, but I also have the mana regen 5 and also mana boost 5, aqua affinity for the helmet, for example. The thing that I really want is stable footing on here. This is going to remove the fly penalty, so I can just insta break in the air without any sort of penalty on the boots. And all of this, I just simply need to throw into an anvil in the order that I got it all set up with. We auto regen all of our XP because of the XP holder right here. And I mean, just got to get this all put together. And there we go. Oh, already so much nicer. I can just insta break blocks. I should have made this earlier. Now something else just to maybe protect me a little bit more, maybe get into a little bit of the bobbly heart canisters mod. This is going to give me several more hearts, which is going to be kind of nice. We could either use the soul amulet or the regular heart amulet. The soul amulet opens up this extra soul container, allowing you to get even more hearts. And it kind of makes sense to do this. Looks like we can use any of the actual hearts to be able to do this. And I've automated some of the recipes already, even the smithing one. By the way, smithing templates, you just simply put them in the same place you would put your regular crafting patterns, and they will craft up just fine. So I don't need to automate this though. Let's see, this one should be easily done. There's that. And then we need a soul. This does cost a blue one. For right now, I'm just going to use the regular one because I don't think we have enough hearts. We only have 16,000. And for example, we need a total of 10 of these heart canisters per slot. And if we right click, we can open this up. And so by doing this, I can put 10 in here, and then we can also move up to the next tier. So the next tier, I believe, is yellow, and we can request 10 of those. But things start to get a little bit expensive, especially on the heart side, whenever we start increasing our heart values here, as it is quite exponential. Like, this recipe is super easy. Like, this is not the problem. The problem is just simply that we are going to struggle with our hearts. Okay, so let's try 10. And we're going to see all of this processing up. It has to smelt all of the hearts down in order to get 10, which is fine. You see, just that alone, we went down, but it's quite exponential. 10 of the green, let's see what that is going to do. That took away almost 5,000 hearts. So yes, that is quite a lot. And we can see that processing right here. It's all smelting down. But those are done, and the next tier goes up to blue, and I don't even know if we're going to have enough. Yeah, it needs, oh my gosh, it needs like 60,000+ of the hearts in order to get to that tier. So yeah, I don't even think I'm going to need that yet. But this is still quite a lot of hearts. This is all going to be added up, and this goes into the heart amulet slot. And as you can see, I have plenty of hearts now. I don't even know what level this is, but we now have blue and green hearts. Kind of fitting of our gear, even though that's going to change soon. I mean, this is just where it starts, right? Because gear can get really, really powerful, especially with Apotheosis. We haven't even dived much into the Apotheosis stuff, but man, with some Godforged pearls and some rerolls here and some very specific gems, which I am saving all of my gems up, by the way. Oh, we'll be rocking and rolling, I tell you. But I still want to find Unobtainium, so let's go figure that out. I do have some Manhattan modules here, and I only want to use a few of them at a time. This is where things can get really, really sketchy really, really fast. So we're going to go to the end. We are going to find ourselves a highlands biome, and that should be where we'll actually find this. Now, to find those biomes, we can use a nature's compass, which will help us out tremendously, just in case we don't stumble upon one right away. Now, I want to test something. If I go into my Rs book, let's do a projectile and then a redstone signal. And I want to see, can this trigger this lamp at a distance? And how accurate is it at doing that? So I shot there, and it hit it. Oh, and it placed a redstone block. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I didn't realize it placed a redstone block. All right, so that did pulse it with a redstone signal. We've got to be pretty accurate with it. So there it goes. It placed it in, did a thing. Okay, interesting. Also, this is like placing a block. Like, oh, I was like, can a breaker break it? Okay, so it's not actually a block. You can see, okay. I was trying to trick it there. It got me. It got me on that. I think I can use this to potentially set off the Manhattan module if it works like TNT and just needs a redstone signal. All right, so let's give this a shot. I do have a way back home with the dislocator. We also have a way to fly around regardless of our like situation, right? We should be able to easily get around. I did not bring any ender pearls. That's fine. I can take this guy out like this. That's also another good thing that the atomic disassembler is good at. It does some pretty decent damage. All right, so let's head through here, and then we're going to pull this up, and we just search Highlands. End Highlands. We should be able to click that, hit start, and this is just going to point us in the correct direction. Now, this has got to be like the worst in Highlands I've ever seen, and I do not expect to find a lot of ore here, so I'm gonna continue further out. You know what? This actually seems like a pretty decent place. All right, so I'm going to light the Manhattan module down here somewhere, and I hope I survive this. If not, I'm gonna be coming back for my corpse. It is going to be awful, and I have no idea how far I need to be back from this. I'm just gonna go with it. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh! Okay, wow. That was something, all right. Is it still going? I think this is it, right? This is, oh goodness, the sound. I think this is as far as it goes. Oh my goodness, did it end up taking out one of the mobs nearby? It 100% did. Okay, so now that we have taken this out, oh yes, this is what I was hoping. Unobtainium ore Look how easy it is to find this stuff. Now, can I actually break it with the atomic disassembler? Oh my goodness, you can. Oh goodness. I didn't know if you could or not, but now that I know you can break it with that, that is fantastic. Okay, I still want to like fortune this, so that would be kind of nice. So for right now, I think I can silk touch this, but we have to build our spell out a little bit, and you do need this tier spell book, I believe, to be able to do this. So we max out the amplify. I think this is, I don't actually know how many amplifies is it going to take? Surely not that much. So like 2 would be normal, 3 unobtainium, let's say 4, and then an extract for silk touch so we can pick up the raw ore, and then item pickup to make sure we don't drop it in the void. Does that work? Okay, requires more amplification. Okay, throw in 1 more amplification, hit it with the extract. Oh, we really don't need pickup, I guess. Okay, requires a more powerful spellbook. Okay, so we must need the Unobtainium spellbook to be able to actually pick this up. That is hilarious. Okay, well, I mean, I have the atomic I would like to fortune this, but you know what? I might as well. I just lost one. Turn my magnet on. You know what? We have a ton. If we need another Manhattan module, we can definitely do that. Look at how much this thing exposed. This is what it's all about right here. That is totally worth it for all of this that you get. That's great. And I'm sure server owners are going to love this. Oh boy. Yeah. No, I mean, I did bring more than 1 Manhattan module. Okay, so we gotta do 1 more, at least 1 more. Let's go ahead, set the redstone up, and man, I'm glad I have some range because this thing goes off. Holy smokes! Look at all of that it exposes. It's so nice. I mean, honestly, the sheer amount of destruction this thing does. Oh, this is fantastic. And like the minimal effort kind of required to get this much destruction. Oh, yeah. But now that I have some unobtainium ore, we might be able to take this and actually make the next template. I would assume the next template is reachable, or at least I hope it is. Yep, looks doable to me. Just need unobtainium block, and that's how we get our first one. And then from there, it's just simply in stone and vibranium. That's nice. As far as processing goes, I think I'm just going to double it just like that. Toss it over here, get that all smelted up, and we just doubled what we had. Let's see, the upgrade process. We just want to make sure that we have vibranium, which we do, and I can make more of these. And then we need the unobtainium block. Okay, and then after that, we take this one to upgrade it. Perfect, and then after that, it is smooth sailing because we have so much vibranium. And there we go. Questbook says, happy unobtainium. That is beautiful. So we can do all of our basic upgrades, right? We can take this, upgrade this. Our spellbook is now unobtainium level, which by the way, should be able to now actually harvest the unobtainium. And I can use fortune now within this to be able to get a nice benefit. Not that I'm going to need too much. I still don't know how much unobtainium we actually need, but as of right now, we don't have automation for it, so I don't even know what's required of getting the automation. I think bees are the way that we would technically do it, because I don't think there's any special recipes in here that kind of allow you to get it, from what I've seen anyways. Not that I'm aware of. But now we can also get our gear upgraded, and we just got, it's perfect time too, because we just like upgraded some of our other equipment. We just got it all enchanted and everything. There we go, unobtainium. Oh my goodness. This is nice. This is nice. And this almost brings it back to the original color that you start with. There we go. That's some beautiful gear right there. And talk about increases. Also, we get an extra heart and stuff, but we also get a bunch of other bonuses. Like, look at that. Wixie 6. Capacity 6, and also spell power 6. Everything has gone up as if we weren't powerful enough. But remember, at the end of the day, us getting the gear honestly isn't what I'm super duper excited about. No. We can actually start to make, now that we have access to unobtainium, we can start to make drives that give us unlimited access to things like lava, for example. Remember the infinity lava cell that I mentioned before? Yeah, this bad boy, something we now have access to because of all three of these ingot types. We do have to go through, however, how we're going to get all of these components. These are things that take a little bit of time. For example, getting a 3 times compressed, that's something that we can go ahead and get started right now while we start to work on some other things. What's absolutely wild about this is this can be compressed and done directly inside of here. We can actually send the power to it and everything from within this single block. I wonder how long that's going to take. And I guess we can go ahead and start it. I got all the stuff set up for it. It's going to craft all of the blaze rods up. That's going to take a little bit of time in itself. 5,000 blaze rods needed in order to get there. Before it even sends it in here, I bet it takes no time at all to process. How much power is actually required? Oh yeah, no, this... I don't think we're going to have issues considering our power buffer. We have 500 million in each of these buffers. Oh no, we're fine. And you got to keep in mind, these also can transfer, I believe, like 20 million FE. That's how much it holds, but I think it's a maximum of like 2 million or something like that. If I remember correctly. No. Max out is 200,000. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Wow, that is... Yeah, that's really fast. Okay, I thought this was going to take a lot longer than that, but no. Say none of this is as long as the AE stuff is to get set up. Oh, and by the way, the block of blazing crystal is now done. So yes, I do want that lava cell very, very soon. This is something I got to work on. Some other things I probably should get started and constantly produce. Looks like matter balls. I feel like matter balls, we still have that set up. I think that's down here. Oh, hey sheep. Is it down here? Maybe I actually moved the entire setup. But honestly, now that we have access to much more power, I think the void cell would be a great way for us to get all of the things that we're going to need. So as of right now, the void cell, we can send things like fluid, for example, like water, infinitely into it. So, I mean, a fluid cell we should be able to make quite easily. Right now, we are hooked up to infinite water, which we could send, but I kind of want to use something else possibly. So you know what? Here's some weird stuff that we can do. Okay, so we want this void cell to void water. So we do need to specify specifically water, but I think we have to drag the water from JEI into it in order to say, hey, I want to trash specifically water. So I pull the void cell out. This is actually going to be an infinite storage sort of thing. And what I want is to set it to matter balls for right now. This can also do singularities, but it's sort of like a condensed matter condenser inside of a cell. It's pretty cool. So let's grab a cable because we are going to need some cables and possibly we're going to need some fiber, some quartz fiber, because we just really need like a little bit of power on this because it is going to be on a subnet essentially. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to take, for example, a sink and we're going to use an extended IO port. And an IO port allows us to do some interesting things. We can take things from a network and we can store it into disks. We can also dump disks into other disks or into other things on a network. It's a way to transfer things and potentially filter out things. But something cool that it can do is we can take the contents of this and we can swap it around. So if we swap this and we think of this as its own network, we can take things from the network and store it into a cell. And how do we get things that aren't cells to show up? Well, we use a storage bus. So we can actually connect up a storage bus onto here. And then if we use some quartz fibers on our main network like this, and we carry this over, we can now send water immediately to here. We're basically dumping water from the main network into this. And once we do that and we place this in here, you'll notice that this starts filling up very quickly with matter balls. And we just let that run for a little while and we'll have plenty of matter balls before we know it. Also, the same thing can happen with singularities. Now, I don't know if this also stores both, but if you put speed upgrades in here, it will produce them. It should produce both, I think. It takes a little bit longer. And then if you add acceleration upgrades, it's definitely going to drain our system. I don't think I'm going to have enough power to be able to handle all of that. But as you can see right there, if you put enough of these in here, getting the actual singularities can be pretty quick. It has been dramatically slowed down though, I have noticed. This is significantly slower than it used to be. But I think collecting matter balls is the main thing that I want to do right now. So that's what I'm going to be going for. So let's put that back in there. Let's get those matter balls collected up because we're going to need a ton of them. And then we can kind of recycle this. I mean, we could have a passive production of them. But right now, I'm just going to let it build up to a ton, put it back in the system and hope, fingers crossed, that that's going to be enough. I don't think that they get used a whole lot, but they do get used like at the end of this craft, for example, at this point in the craft that uses 4 of them. And really only 2 stages of that craft does it end up using them. So yeah, I mean, we're not going to be going through a whole lot of them, but we do need to have them. Now, something else we're going to need for mega cells is getting the printed accumulated circuits. And this just requires me to, well, just use a circuit slicer on Skysteel. Thankfully, we get to bypass all of that. To get Skysteel, however, this needs a reaction chamber. And it requires a little bit of lava. Currently, I don't have a good source of lava in my AE system, so this is going to be nice. Once we do have this, we'll have unlimited lava. But you know what? Until then, I can just run an AE cable over here all willy-nilly, and we'll get that connected in like so. And then on top, we'll just throw a storage bus on top of this ultimate fluid tank, which will hold quite a bit of fluid for me. Now, one, this to make sure there's no mistakes. Just for right now, we'll make sure to partition it so only lava can be handled from this tank. Now, also something I've done is I have removed the process here to make dust for our Fluix and put the Fluix dust process over here on our crushing factory, which is significantly faster now, by the way. Definitely if we do something like this. And now to just make all of the patterns going down and down. And this is where things get a little rough, and we might need to start thinking and kind of needing to understand that the base components for all of these things are possibly going to need to be pre-generated or constantly kept in stock, because this is where things get very, very long. And unless you have some really nice setups, like with multiple processing things happening, even though we have unlimited resources as far as things go, like gold and all the stuff required for this, it's going to take a tremendous amount of time. The processes are very, very long to craft, and it specifically starts to hang at the assemblers and the circuit slicers, especially if you only have one. And right now, I would still consider myself like in the mid to getting near to late game. But yes, as you'll be able to see here, if I go ahead and I go, let's go ahead and get a 256 now that I have it available. When we start this, we don't even have enough Certus crystal. I still need to make this guy still, but just look how much Certus this is going to require. We don't have it just yet. We will have Certus in this quantity, I think very, very soon though. So what I'm going to need to do is we are going to have to prep up some Certus, and thankfully I have a space right here for that. And so it's time to finally make flawless Certus, because I've been using this up till now. And I mean, while this does work really well and we still haven't even upgraded it, we can generate Certus so much faster if we just utilize our Certus breakers. Now, there's a couple of ways we can get flawless. We can go about it this route by using a crystal fixer to get there, but the Endercrafter we already have the setup for. We just need Certus dust and budding Certus quartz. Like we just need the quartz geode here, and we can just instantly make flawless. Like that's the way to go. So back to the Endercrafter. Here we go again, and I'll divide that up like so. And this gets made very, very quickly, just being within the vicinity here. I'll just toss it over into the same mix that we've been using and hope that this grows them up pretty quick. Seems like it's growing pretty quick. I don't know if it's growing as fast as that though. And then I need to take the Certus cluster, which is going to be this, and we need to make sure this is a allow list. Throw that in, place that in, and wow, that does not grow as fast as that grows. Huh. But I mean, I get it. It was actually designed for this. So yeah, there we go. So at least we have this running now, and it shouldn't be producing Certus dust. But I think it is producing Certus dust because it's waiting for this one to fully grow and not waiting for all of them to fully grow. There is a way we could prevent this and kind of change this whole thing up. But that would require us to remove the hammering upgrade that's inside of this. Now, I guess I don't have to go in here and actually remove an upgrade, but I can disable an upgrade. So this upgrade can be disabled. And when I put it back here, it's only going to mine this one spot, but that's where we can go in and customize its breaking area. So we can have this check the entire area here. Bring this up, bring this up. Actually bring the Y up. And there we go. So now it'll cover the whole area. The only thing it's going to be looking for is breaking this. We can probably set this to 1. And now it's going to break like this. And it's going to make sure that it's only breaking the ones that are fully complete. Ah, that's much better. Now, is this going to immediately get me to the like 60,000 that I need to just make one? No. This is where we're probably going to have to upscale this quite a bit, as that is going to be one of those things that we're going to have to either get from sieving by doing sieving in large quantities, but I really want to get at least the lava card before we do any upgrades to our sieving. And there's a reason behind that, but right now we'll just go with, yeah, we're going to require a lot of cobblestone. And I would also really like to have an infinity cobble cell too. Yeah, that'd be nice for this whole operation. I mean, let me see if I can at least upgrade this for right now, just this one. Because this is the one that is producing a ton of the Certus. I mean, it is going to probably use up all of our cobblestone here, but anything to make the operation faster, honestly. But man, what a wild episode. And I hope you've enjoyed these last 20 episodes. I mean, this seems like it's going by really, really fast. We are progressing, in my opinion, pretty darn quick. At least it definitely feels that way with the way we're generating resources. The only thing kind of preventing us from getting to in-game is just figuring out those few little details that we're going to need in order to actually wrap everything together and get into a few different mods that are quite technical and require us to do like some very interesting setups. For example, like to be able to get time crystals and things like that. So if you guys did enjoy, be sure to click that subscribe button and, well, of course, give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. And also don't forget to get your world download if you're, of course, a supporter of any tier, no matter what platform you're on, whether it is on Twitch, on Patreon, here as a YouTube member, or of course over on the Discord. Be sure to definitely check that out. And guys, without further ado, it's also now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to Lord Ibris. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and just supporting my content in one of the best ways possible. And guys, I thank you all so very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. Now, since we're about to be doing some explosions, what is your favorite thing to explode in Minecraft? I would love to hear from you. What's your favorite explosion device? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below.